Recording in progress.
All right. Hello, everybody. We're going to do this tonight. Tonight, we're going to talk about the future of robotics and how it can help us and not take over the world. Okay, so my idea in the future using robots. So, for those who don't know me, Dan Mason, PhD, public policy. So, I'm coming at this from a public policy perspective. Um, it's probably a short video. I'm doing a couple of things at the same time. YouTube, Zoom call, and I'm doing a TikTok. So what I'm talking about is the idea of recycling. All right, there's already some ways of recycling, which is great. However, we want to get more into it. And some of the recycling we know is tedious and non-economical. But the idea is, what if you have an area, instead of a landfill, you have an area, large warehouses, dumping areas, collection areas, would you say, bring in the material to be recycled, and you have 10,000 robots. Of course, it's in the future, you got to be economic, that sort of thing. Instead of having um, robots do things that we can do, how about start off with having robots do things that we don't want to do, too dangerous or too tedious, and um, you're doing a thing over and over, carpal um, syndrome, that sort of thing. Can't remember the word of it. Anyway, so, but if you put the effort in, and instead of you got those that with the money and with the idea want to go to Mars, right? Because we're destroying the Earth. How about and some estimates to terraform Mars is 40 trillion dollars. I mean, that's just some estimates. So something to think about in reality, in real world. How about clean up the world that we have now? Also, recycling will save us from redigging, redrilling, to get the resources. They're already here. We just need to recycle them. All right, so let's get started. I call it the thousand hands that never sleep. Okay, so they will be working around the clock. Of course, they would need maintenance, but it's just an idea. Again, public policy administration. What can we do to enhance the productivity of us humans with robots and all the trash, this consumerism that we're into now, all the trash that we have. We used to have things that were durable. Now we have the plastics and the forever chemicals. We need to do something with those. We need to do better. One way, hopefully, it can be economical, will be utilizing robots. All right. All right. Picture a warehouse the size of a small city, lit day and night, never silent. 10,000 robots work without pause. Of course, you're going to have maintenance. Of course, you might have some down periods. We're just, giving you a picture. They do not build cars or stack boxes. They get the junk that we have discarded, the junk that we can no longer use or don't no longer care to use. They dismantle the waste of modern life. Old appliances, broken tools, discarded electronics. You got gold in there, you got copper, you got nickel, worn furniture, and industrial scrap move in steady streams across conveyors. Nothing arrives as trash. Everything arrives as material waiting to be sorted, stripped, reused, burned cleanly, or buried with intent. This is not a fantasy. It is an engineering problem, a system problem, and a public policy choice. Something that we can strive for instead of looking hopelessly at things around us. We say, okay, we're going to purposely go into saving the earth. Really, not the feel good recycling you do today. I don't know if you know the same garbage truck that picks up your trash, picks up your recycling, and once they get to a certain capacity, it all goes into the trash, and the capacity is not like you think. So all your sorting and all what you do pretty much is a waste of time. Hate to hurt your feelings. All right. The project centers on scale and continuity, con- connectivity. You put it that way. 10,000 robots operate 24 hours a day. They disassemble objects into base components with precision, humans cannot match at speed. All right. We're going to break down easier. Our machine, we're lazy, we're not getting paid enough, it's not a living wage. But homeboy is there and he's not, he's loving it. He's in the prime of his life. And he's doing a purpose that we have programmed him to. And as we move on, the robots can repair themselves, things like that. But we're going to have other jobs. You still need humans to repair them, still have humans to run the operations. So this is not about taking away jobs away. This is first, it's going to be scale, small. It may be 500 robots, 10, 15, it's going to be the scale. Then it grows. As the need grows, as the efficiency grows, as people look around and say, hey, we're actually making a difference, not the showmanship that goes about today, the foolishness about recycling that doesn't really meet the need of the earth and the continued growth of the landfills. We got to we hopefully we should put our efforts into restoring the earth, but doing in a economical and a practical way, not with this emotional driven. They disassemble objects into base components with precision humans cannot match at speed. Copper wiring is pulled and spooled. Steel frames are cut and sorted by alloy. Aluminum, nickel, lithium, and rare earth elements are isolated and categorized. All right, material that retains structural or chemical value re-enter supply chains. Materials that cannot be reused are treated as fuel or stabilized waste. The goal is not zero waste. The goal is control measurable waste. So you never listen. Politicians, you got to love them. They will say things that makes no economic or logical sense. George Bush, we're going to do away with evil. Right there, you should turn on your critical thinking and say, not only is he lying, he's gaslighting me. You think I'm stupid. All right, you can never get away with evil, do away with evil. There is no utopia. Even if you listen to the socialists, the communists, and all the others, there is no utopia because you never can get away from the human failure, the human nature. The Soviets tried to build a superhuman man. They failed, and all others who tried will fail also. All right. The system begins with observation and classification. Incoming materials are scanned using different scopes. imagings, and weight analysis. We're guided by the idea of sorting rules. This material can be reclaimed. That material can be buried cleanly. That material, so that's what they're saying. This goes here, that goes there. That material must be buried. Each decision is tested against outcomes, energy output, emissions, recovery rates, and the residue toxicity are measured continuously. When results fall outside targets, the process changes. This feedback loop keeps ideology out of the mix, and we're relying on evidence-based decisions. The factory learns over time. This is a learning and growing process. We just got to get the idea there. But it got to be economical, it got to be proficient, and of course, you got to get those that get behind the idea, that sort of thing. Money wise, capital, that sort of thing. All right. Robots specialize. Some grip, twist, and pull, others cut, grind, or melt. Vision systems identify fasteners, welds, adhesives, and composite layers. Machines learning improves recognition with each object process. Modular robot cells allow rapid upgrades without shutting down the facility. Conveyors route material automatically based on the real-time analysis. The warehouse becomes a living machine that adapts to new products and new waste streams as market changes. Right? We tell the people the truth. We don't sit there and tell them the lies that you're getting out. Keep recycling. We're doing so much. No, it's based on what is affordable, but it will grow. It will grow, and it will continue to grow, and it will be more efficient to a way that maybe the government can take over, or we can still have it in capitalism or so. But just like your electric, your gas, your sewer is not actually government in most places. It's a cooperative, some sort of quasi-government that is privately owned, but is regulated by, it has to be a monopoly. It's regulated by, the state or the city, that sort of thing, or even the feds. All right, not all waste should be saved. Some materials release more value as energy than as reused matter. Controlled furnaces burn selected waste at high temperatures with oxygen managed combustion. Exhaust passes through scrubbers, filters, and catalytic converters that strip particles and neutralize harmful gases. So we're not just burning the trash. We're eliminating the debris, but we're cleaning it as it goes. The heat produces steam, and this byproduct of steam is the economic side. Now you got electricity, steam powered. We got enough trash that should last us the next 50 years. Dig it up, sort it through, clean what. Now it's going to be the cleaning, or of course, it has to be water, and then you have to clean the water too. So, but that can be managed. The heat produces steam. The steam turns turbines, the electricity and thermal energy feed neighboring communities and industrial parks. Waste becomes base load power, not pollution. So that's part of the idea. We need to turn this trash into something that we can use. It's an idea I'm throwing out. Shoot me down, tell me I'm crazy, but it's an idea worth mentioning, worth talking about, I believe. All right, the system does not pretend carbon disappears. It measures it. Carbon output is captured, compressed, and either reused in industrial processes or stored where policy allows. Life cycle analysis tracks every ton input and output. The question is not whether emissions exist. The question is whether they are lower, cleaner, and more predictable than landfills and open burning. Data answers that question. So again, we are looking at a evidence-based process. We're going by the evidence. We're checking it twice, and we make adjustment. All right. Some residue cannot be burned or reused safely. That material is stabilized, sealed, and buried in engineered sites designed for containment, not abandonment. Those trash sites, those dump sites, only last for so long. You can never live on them again. You can never occupy them. Animal, wildlife, you have to protect them from it. So we need to do something. But if you take the trash and you process it, you seal it, and you put it away economically, you have a more stable environment, I believe. Sensors monitor groundwater pressure and chemical leakage for decades. Burial becomes a controlled endpoint, not a moral failure. Morality, emotions is contained here. We're not trying to run off, make the world beautiful. We are, but not through the emotions which run away with reality. The volume is small because value extraction happens first. We pull out all we can get from this garbage, trash, junk, and we put it back into the cycle. Capitalism works because we're feeding the source back into the source where it comes from. The people needs it. Also, the byproduct is energy. This project requires policy that rewards outcomes, not slogans. We're not going to make it a clean New Deal, Green New Deal, or all this. We're going to make it more clean, more reliable, and better for all of us in the end. Zoning laws must allow industrial recycling hubs. Environmental regulation must focus on measured emissions, not process bans. Tax incentives can favor reclaimed material over virgin mining. You don't want to tear down the forest. You don't want to tear up the earth. Well, recycle for the nth degree. And using, again, the hypothesis is the thesis is on 10,000 robots. Just an idea. All right. Utilities can purchase steam and power at stable rates. Cities can contract waste systems instead of exporting trash overseas, which we do now. Policy aligns incentives with results. So something to think about. 10,000 robots do not eliminate jobs. They change them. Engineers, technicians, safety officers, data analysts, and logistics planners replace landfill labor. Communities gain energy, stability, and cleaner surroundings. The amount of birds, rodents, and everything else that goes into those landfills and bring things out, it's reduced. Domestic supply chains regain access to critical metals without foreign dependence. Waste stop being invisible. It becomes infrastructure. We're going to take what we use and recycle it truly recycle it. But it has to, we have to start with an idea and then we go forward. A warehouse of 10,000 robots tearing down the leftovers of civilization is not a it's not a bad idea. I'll put it that way. It is discipline. It treats waste as a system failure that can be engineered into something better. Using the scientific method keeps claims honest. Using engineering principles keeps it efficient. Using public policy keeps it scalable. The planet does not need guilt. It needs machines that work, rules that make sense, and leaders willing to choose function over fantasy. So, something to think about. Hit me up. What do you think? Crazy idea. Um, or something that we can look forward to in the future, something that maybe we can make happen. Thanks for being here. Like, share. Let me know in the comments what you think. Appreciate it.